feel like I've gone full graveyard girl with the sassy bun and the tea. Hey guys, it's me, HezaChannel, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that is near and dear to my heart that I've talked about in previous videos. Sailor Moon! So yeah, today I want to talk about Sailor Moon and how I became obsessed with this one episode in particular. For those of you guys who don't know, I grew up in the Midwest of the United States. More specifically in Cincinnati, Ohio. I got into anime around 6th grade. This is when I knew that the funny cartoons with the mouths that didn't move to the English words and the big eyes were actually from Japan. See, I had been watching anime earlier on, but I had no idea. My mom introduced me to Speed Racer, and I liked it, but I had no idea it was from Japan, and I don't even know if my mom knew. Fast forward to 6th grade, I get heavily into this anime called Sailor Moon. Come 7th grade, I finally get our first family PC, and my mom decides to get AOL. So back then, the internet was on dial-up, and I had 56K. So AOL stands for American Online, for those of you who are not familiar with that, because that kind of happened a long time ago. Doesn't feel that long ago for me, but there are definitely people out there that might be watching this video right now who have really no idea what American Online was. Back in those days of the early internet, there wasn't really a lot of official websites for anime. So what people would do back then is host their own fan website using a free website host like AngelFire, GeoCities, or Tripod. Back then, I was super into AngelFire. I liked AngelFire the most out of all of the 3 major free web hosting sites. And I created my own website dedicated to Chibiusa from Sailor Moon. Chibiusa has always been my favorite character. I really think what appealed to me at first was her hairstyle. I thought it was crazy looking, and the fact that she had red eyes, I don't know, there was something about her character and her overall design that really appealed to me. Especially back then, and people now still don't really care for her character, but I love her, and I think that since so many people don't care for her character, it's easier for me to find merchandise of her. So I had this website, and searching through images to post on the website, because back then a lot of people would post image galleries, and people would go to these fan websites just to look at the pictures on it. I came across this grainy, small bitmap that I'll show right here. So yeah, this image right here was what got me started in the obsession. I was like, where did this image come from? Why does Chibiusa look older? And why is Usagi smaller? Well, back then I didn't call them Chibiusa and Usagi, I called them Serena and Rini, because at that time, when Deke was dubbing the Sailor Moon anime, they changed their names. I didn't know that that was from a specific episode, and during my research, that's what I found out. I found out that there was more Sailor Senshi, or Sailor Scouts as they were called back then, and my mind was blown. I was like, holy crap, I need to find as much information about this as possible. And I got obsessed. Because Chibiusa was my favorite character, I liked that she had an older looking version. And at this point in time, I kind of already knew about Black Lady, but whenever I saw Black Lady, or back then as she was called Wicked Lady, I thought she was more adult and not teen. So with this picture that I found, she looked more like a teenager, and since I was a teenager at that time, I like super related to it. I was like, oh my god, like even back then I wanted to cosplay it, and unfortunately it's still on my want to cosplay list. I don't know why I've never got around to it. I guess I just don't feel confident enough to cosplay something that I'm so heavily like attached to. I just want to do it justice. Moving forward, I had this website, and then it became dedicated to Teen Chibiusa the most, more than just regular Chibiusa. I tried to find as many pictures as possible of this version of her, including fan art, episode screen caps, and just anything, really. Whatever I could find out there. And honestly, there wasn't much because, well, really, that version of her is in only 1 episode. And it's also in the manga too. But I didn't like the manga version as much because she looked more like Usagi. Her hair you know, her pigtails were just straight down like Usagi's, and I really liked this kind of weird football pigtail shape that she had in the anime. I ran that website for many years until it became too much to maintain, which was like about in high school. So I ran this website from around 7th grade till my senior year of high school, when I just kind of dropped it. But I was still obsessed with that first image I told you about, the first image I had found, and I'm like, where was that from? It's not from the episode. The art's different from anything I've ever seen. So where did it come from? Fast forwarding again to this year, 2018, I went to this anime convention called Anime Expo. You guys may have heard of it. I think it is the largest anime convention in the United States. My favorite thing to do at these conventions, besides cosplaying, is finding the most unique booth in the dealer's hall. And boy did I find it at Anime Expo. It was a small booth. They didn't have a lot for sale. It wasn't large like all the other ones, but they sold things that no other booth sold. And I'm talking about like old school stuff from the 90s. They had laser discs, they had animation cells, and most importantly, they had old school Sailor Moon items. One of which I bought is right here. And for those of you who have no idea what this item is, it is an earwax pick. Yes, you heard me correctly, an earwax pick. This was an item that I had seen many years ago in a local shop in Cincinnati that is no longer there anymore. The shop was called Cincinnati Sci-Fi, and the owner would go to Japan, pick up items, and resell them at his shop. And this was one of them that I saw years and years ago, and I wanted it. I had no idea what it was, but since I didn't have any idea what it was, I didn't buy it. So many years later, I find it again, and now it's mine. One of the other items that caught my eye was this book. The art to me looked familiar, and I was like, huh, let me look inside of this book. So I went and looked through it, and I noticed right away that the art looked exactly the same as the art that I had found all those years ago that I dedicated my website to. And I was like, looking through the ones that they had, hoping that I would find the one that had that artwork in it, but I didn't. They only had this one and another one from the Super S series. But now at least I knew what it came from. So I bought this one because this is the end of the Super S series. So this was the last book in the collection. And with this, I would be able to track down and find, hopefully, the book I was looking for. Now, I don't speak fluent Japanese. I only know how to introduce myself and ask simple questions and random words here and there. Finding things on the internet very specifically can be a little bit difficult when you don't speak the language. However, there's lots of tools and stuff that can help you find what you're looking for. So for me, I used the Google Translate app on my phone and took a picture of the front of the book and translated this right here, which I think says Kodansha no Terebi, and I think this means picture book. I can't, like I said, I can't read kanji. So it basically says the Kodansha television picture book. And so I was like, this is what I'm looking for. The only problem was I had no idea of the volume number that I was looking for. All I had to go by was that the villain who switched their ages was Pala Pala, so maybe the cover of the book would give me a hint. So I copy and paste the Japanese of the title of the book into Yahoo Japan auctions, and a whole bunch of these came up, and for very cheap prices. As I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through the very many listings that they had, I came across a listing for this book. And I was like, huh, it has Pala Pala on it. Maybe this is the book I'm looking for. However, the listing itself for the auction only had a picture of the cover and the back. So I was like, I don't know if what's in the inside of the book is what I'm looking for. So what I ended up doing is copying and pasting the title of the auction for, you know, the Kodansha television image book, Sailor Moon Super S, volume number 42, into Google, and sure enough, I found images of a really old Yahoo auction that had already been won that had actual pictures of the inside of the book. And the picture that I found was this one. So I knew that this book was the one I was looking for many, many years. Like since 7th grade, I had been looking for the source of this image, and I wanted it, and I wanted to grasp it and hold it in my hands and be able to own it and take a look at all the other pictures inside. Because I was like, well, if there's one picture, there's gotta be more. And sure enough, there is. Haha, big surprise, like you didn't already know that. Just to tell you how big of a fan I am before I show you the insides of that book. So before I found the book that I've been looking for years, the only things that I could find from that episode were actual animation cells. The animation cells from this episode can go for a pretty penny because one, it's the only episode in which Chibiusa looks like that. Two, a lot of Sailor Moon fans love that episode. So that means people who actually own these cells probably don't want to resell them after they bought it because the episode means so much to them. Like me, for instance. I used to have 4. However, I ended up having to sell 2 of my animation cells from that episode because I wanted to move out of my parents' house and I knew that the cells would fetch a pretty penny. But I still have 2 left. I have this cell where Chibiusa is riding Pegasus and they're looking over Elysion. And this is before she notices that Elysion is destroyed. She's enjoying herself. It is missing Pegasus, and the background that it's on is not the matching one. But it does come with the sketch, and the sketch is absolutely gorgeous. I've been having these in storage for a very long time. I kind of would love to get them framed, but I'd have to get a special UV resistant glass because the lines, they like to fade. As you can see, some of them look a little bit orange, and that's just natural for animation cells to do over the years. However, keeping them out of sunlight can help reduce fading. And here is the second cell I have. This is when Chibiusa realizes that she can't talk to Helios anymore unless she turns back to her innocent self so he can reach her dreams. And it comes with a sketch as well. As you can see and probably guess from how long this video is and how much I could ramble on about Chibiusa and the Sailor Moon Super S series, you can imagine how much this book means to me. So I want to share the inside of this book to you all, and if there's any other fans of this specific episode in Sailor Moon Super S, I hope you guys enjoy this. And I do want to scan these, but my scanner is too small for this and I kind of need to get a new one. So this will have to do for now. There's the first page. This is when they realize that Pala Pala is trying to steal mirrors from Pure Hearts or whatever in the park. And they go to stop her, and obviously, you know, Usagi and Chibiusa are arguing about how one wishes that they were younger because things would be easier, and the other one wishes to be an adult. So Pala Pala overhears this and switches their ages, and they're like, what the heck is up? And as you can see, right here, that's where that image came from. And like I said, I knew that there would be more, but this image is like so nostalgic to me. So Chibiusa tries to call Pegasus to help them defeat Pala Pala. And unfortunately, her Twinkle Bell is not working. And they're like, what the heck's going on? Why is it not working? The rest of the Sailor Senshi come to help, and Pala Pala flees. So the rest of the Senshi notice something is up with them, and honestly, this is my favorite image from the whole book. That's my favorite outfit of Chibiusa, and I would absolutely die if I could get an animation cell of that, but like in the actual cartoon, she's not in that outfit for very long. She's mainly in her Senshi uniform and the pajamas. So there they are, sleeping in bed, and Chibiusa has a dream about Pegasus. Pegasus, or Helios, explains that he can't reach her dreams anymore now that she's become an adult, and Chibiusa is like, no, I can't have that, I want to talk to you, I want to be your friend. So the curse is broken and she turns back into a kid. They wake up, they realize that they're back to normal and that the Twinkle Bell works. Again, they see Pala Pala probably at the same park doing the same crap to the kids, like she wouldn't be found by the Sailor Senshi, which doesn't make any sense, but here you are. And the Sailor Senshi find her. She summons a monster that they have to fight, and Sailor Chibi Moon's bell works. She summons Helios, and they save the day. Anyway, this book means so much to me. I think it's probably gonna be my #1 item in my collection, and I have a rather extensive Sailor Moon collection with lots of Chibi Moon items. Like I said, the only other items from this specific episode that I'd like to own are more cells from the episode. And in the 90s, I found this out a couple of years ago actually. I had no idea that these were even made. But in the 90s, Comiket, or is it Wonderfest? Maybe it's Wonderfest. I forget which convention in Japan it is, but where they have garage kits. And if you don't know what garage kits are, they're resin model kits that independent artists make, and then they go and sell them at these conventions. But apparently, 2 or 3 of them were made of Chibiusa in this outfit. I think I have some of the pictures. I'll put them right here. But anyway, so as you can see, these pictures are pretty grainy. They're low quality because at the time there wasn't any better pictures. These were taken in the 90s. But if I could ever find like duplicates of these resin model kits, I would definitely love to have them and have a professional put them together and paint them for me. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit different, and if I kind of sound funny throughout this whole video, it's because I just got a cold yesterday, and hopefully I can get over it soon. I hope to see you guys next week with a Toriba unboxing video. Toriba's been very slow about shipping me my prizes lately. I don't know, they have another delay. They were doing really good there for a while, but who knows what's going on. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you next week. Bye!